Suddenly, they heard a growl. It was a leopard hiding nearby. I'm worried for our baby, Adanma whispered to Obinna, tears streaming down her cheeks. Obinna held her hand tightly, his heart heavy with fear. In a village called Aba in Abia State, Nigeria, there lived a girl named Adanma. She was the only child of her parents, Ngozi and Chuku. Adanma's life was simple but filled with challenges. One sunny morning, Adanma woke up early to help her mother with household chores. As they washed clothes by the river, Adanma asked her mother, "Mama, why don't I have brothers and sisters like other children?" Ngozi smiled sadly and replied, "My dear Adanma, you are a blessing to us. Though you have no siblings, you have our love and the love of the entire village." Adanma nodded, understanding her mother's words. Suddenly, they heard loud footsteps approaching. It was Ikenna, the mischievous boy from the neighboring compound. "Hey, Adanma, do you want to join us in the forest today?" Ikenna asked with a grin. Adanma hesitated, knowing her parents wouldn't agree. But the excitement of adventure tempted her. "I'll ask Mama," she said, running back home. "Mama, please let me go with Ikenna and the others. We promise to be careful," Adanma pleaded with her mother. Ngozi sighed, worried for her daughter's safety. "Alright, but be back before sunset and don't wander too far into the forest." Adanma beamed with joy and rushed to join Ikenna and his friends. They ventured deep into the forest, exploring the wonders and sharing stories. As the day passed, Adanma realized it was getting late. "We should start heading back home now," she said nervously. But Ikenna laughed, dismissing her worries. "Don't be afraid, Adanma, we still have time to explore." Reluctantly, Adanma followed them deeper into the forest. Suddenly, they heard a growl. It was a leopard hiding nearby. Panicking, the children froze in fear. Adanma's heart pounded as she remembered her mother's warning. We need to stay calm and slowly back away," she whispered. With trembling hands, they inched away from the leopard, praying it wouldn't attack. Finally, they reached the edge of the forest and raced back home, shaken but safe. That evening, Adanma's parents scolded her for venturing into the forest. "I'm sorry, Mama. I won't do it again," she promised, tears welling in her eyes. Ngozi hugged her tightly, relieved that her daughter was unharmed. "You are precious to us, Adanma. Please be careful next time." From that day on, Adanma listened to her parents' advice and avoided risky adventures. She focused on her studies and helped her parents in the farm. Years passed and Adanma blossomed into a beautiful young woman. One day, a handsome stranger named Obinna visited the village. He was kind and charming, and Adanma's heart fluttered when he was around. "I've fallen for you, Adanma. Will you marry me?" Obinna confessed one sunny afternoon. Adanma blushed, overwhelmed by his love. "Yes, Obinna, I will be your wife," she replied with a smile. Their wedding was a joyous occasion, filled with music, dance and laughter. Adanma felt blessed to have found true love in her village. As they started their new home together, Adanma often visited her parents, bringing them gifts and sharing stories of her adventures with Obinna. One day, while Adanma was pregnant with their first child, she fell ill. Obinna rushed her to the village healer who diagnosed her with malaria. "I'm worried for our baby," Adanma whispered to Obinna, tears streaming down her cheeks. Obinna held her hand tightly, his heart heavy with fear. "We'll do everything we can to keep you both safe," he vowed. With prayers and herbal remedies, Adanma gradually recovered, and their baby was born healthy and strong. They named him Chijioke, meaning God's gift. Years flew by, and Adanma and Obinna watched proudly as their son Chijioke grew into a fine young man. He inherited his mother's kind heart and his father's determination. One evening, as the family gathered around the fire, Chijioke asked, "Mama, Papa, tell me more about your childhood in Aba village." Adanma smiled warmly, reminiscing about her adventures and the lessons she learned along the way. "Life was simple but challenging, Chijioke. Your father and I faced many trials, but we always had each other and the love of our family." Obinna nodded, his eyes gleaming with pride. "Your mother was a brave and resilient girl, just like you, Chijioke. She taught me the true meaning of perseverance." Chijioke listened intently, eager to learn from his parents' experiences. "I want to make you both proud and carry on your family legacy," he declared with determination. Adanma and Obinna embraced their son, filled with love and hope for his future. "We believe in you, Chijioke. With your strength and determination, you can overcome any obstacle," they assured him. Inspired by his parents' words, Chijioke worked hard to pursue his dreams. He excelled in his studies and became a respected member of the community, just like his parents. As the years went by, Adanma and Obinna watched with joy as their family grew and flourished. Their grandchildren brought laughter and warmth to their home, filling it with the vibrant energy of youth. One evening, as Adanma sat by the fire, lost in thought, her granddaughter Nneka approached her. "Grandma, can you tell me a story about your childhood?" she asked, her eyes shining with curiosity. Adanma smiled lovingly at her granddaughter, grateful for the opportunity to share her memories once again. "Of course, my dear Nneka, I will tell you the story of Adanma's gift." With eager anticipation, Nneka moved close to her grandmother as she began her tale. Many years ago, in the heart of Aba village, there lived a young girl named Adanma. She was the only child of her parents, but she was never alone. For Adanma had a gift of love that filled her heart and touched the lives of everyone she met. Adanma recounted her childhood adventures, from exploring the forest to facing challenges with courage and determination. She spoke of the love she shared with her parents, the lessons she learned from her experiences, and the bonds that strengthened her family. But the greatest gift of all was the love that Adanma carried within her. Adanma continued, her voice soft with emotion. It was a love that knew no boundaries, a love that brought joy and hope to those around her. Nneka listened intently, captivated by her grandma's words. "Grandma, how did you learn to love so deeply?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. Adanma smiled, her eyes sparkling with memories. "I learned to love from my parents, from the people of Aba village, and from the experiences that shaped me. But most importantly, I learned to love by opening my heart to others, by showing kindness and compassion in everything I do, by showing kindness and compassion in everything I did." As Adanma's story came to an end, Nneka hugged her tightly, her heart filled with admiration for her grandma. "Thank you, Grandma, for sharing your story with me. I will always cherish the lessons you have taught me about love and kindness." Adanma returned her granddaughter's embrace, her heart overflowing with love. "Remember, Nneka, that love is the greatest gift we can give to the world. Let it guide you in all that you do." One quiet afternoon, as Adanma sat in her favorite spot by the window, her grandchildren gathered around her, eager to hear more stories from her past. "Tell us about the day you met Grandpa," her youngest granddaughter Chioma requested, her eyes wide with curiosity. Adanma smiled tenderly, her mind drifting back to that fateful day many years ago. "It was a beautiful day, much like this one," she began, her voice soft and nostalgic. "I was walking through the village market when I saw Obinna for the first time." She recounted the encounter that had blossomed into a lifelong love, describing the laughter they shared, the challenges they faced, and the unbreakable bond that had united them through it all. "He was the love of my life, and together we built a home filled with love and laughter," Adanma concluded, her eyes glistening with tears of joy. "His love sustained me through the darkest days and brought me endless happiness." Her grandchildren listened intently, captivated by their grandma's love story. They marveled at the strength of her bond with Obinna and the enduring legacy of love that they had built together. The villagers erupted into applause, showering him with praise and admiration. She had stumbled upon the concert by chance and was mesmerized by Kuti's performance. And Kuti's ego grew along with his reputation. Once upon a time, in a vibrant village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there lived a young boy named Kuti. Kuti was known throughout the village for his boundless curiosity and adventurous spirit. He would spend his days exploring the surrounding countryside, marveling at the wonders of nature and listening intently to the stories told by the elders around the communal fire. One day, as Kuti wandered deeper into the forest than he had ever done before, he stumbled upon a hidden open space. In the center of the space stood a magnificent Iroko tree, its branches stretching towards the sky like outstretched arms. Kuti approached the tree with awe. Its rough and twisted trunk seemed to whisper secrets of ancient times. As Kuti circled the Iroko tree, he noticed something shining at the base. It was a beautifully crafted wooden flute, adorned with intricate carvings of animals and symbols of the earth. Delighted by his discovery, Kuti picked up the flute and blew gently into it. To his amazement, the flute produced the most enchanting melody he had ever heard, filling the forest space with music that seemed to dance among the leaves. Over the following days, Kuti returned to the forest space often, practicing his flute playing skills and losing himself in the music. The villagers soon heard of Kuti's newfound talent, and they would gather around him in the evenings, enchanted by the melodies that flowed from his flute. As time went on, however, something began to change within Kuti. His once humble nature was slowly replaced by a growing sense of pride and vanity. He reveled in the attention and admiration he received from the villagers, and soon his flute playing became more about showcasing his skill than sharing the joy of music. One evening, as Kuti played his flute for the gathered villagers, a traveling storyteller arrived in the village. The storyteller was an elderly man with a weathered face and kind eyes, and he carried with him a wisdom that seemed as ancient as the Iroko tree itself. Intrigued by the melodious music drifting through the village, the storyteller made his way to the gathering and listened quietly to Kuti's performance. When Kuti finished playing, the villagers erupted into applause, showering him with praise and admiration. The storyteller approached Kuti with a gentle smile and said, "Young man, your flute playing is indeed remarkable. But remember, true talent is not measured by the applause it receives, but by the joy it brings to others." Kuti, caught up in his newfound fame, dismissed the storyteller's words with a wave of his hand. "What would an old man like you know about talent?" he scoffed, drawing laughter from some of the villagers. Undeterred, the storyteller nodded knowingly and said, "Perhaps I am old, but I have seen many talented individuals lose their way because they forget the true purpose of their gifts. The music you create is a gift to be shared, not a trophy to be displayed. With that, the storyteller bid the villagers good night and retreated to a quiet corner of the village to rest. Kuti's pride, however, was not so easily swayed. He continued to play his flute, each note infused with a desire for admiration and recognition. Days turned into weeks, and Kuti's ego grew along with his reputation. He began to demand payment for his performances, believing that his talent deserved compensation. The villagers, eager to hear his music, complied at first, but whispers of discontent began to spread through the village. One evening, as Kuti prepared for another performance, he found his flute missing from its usual place. Frantically searching his hut and the surrounding area, he finally spotted a small note tucked under a nearby rock. The note read, "True talent shines brightest when it is given freely, without expectation of reward. Seek not the applause of others, but the joy of sharing your gift." Confused and frustrated, set off towards the forest open space, hoping to find his missing flute. As he reached the familiar place, he saw the storyteller sitting beneath the iroko tree, holding his flute in his hands. "Young man," the storyteller said softly, "your flute is a tool for spreading joy and unity, not for feeding your own pride. Until you understand this, the music within will remain silent." Kuti's eyes were filled with a mixture of anger and realization. He had let his ego blind him to the true purpose of his talent, and now he has to face the consequences. Swallowing his pride, Kuti approached the storyteller and bowed his head in humility. "I have been foolish," Kuti admitted, tears welling in his eyes. "I forgot that the music is not mine alone, but a gift meant to bring happiness to others." The storyteller smiled warmly and handed the flute back to Kuti. "Remember this lesson well, young one. Let your music be a bridge that connects hearts, not a pedestal for your ego." From that day forward, Kuti's approach to music changed. He no longer sought applause or payment for his performances. Instead, he played from the heart, sharing the melodies that spoke of joy, sorrow, love, and unity. The villagers, touched by his renewed spirit, gathered around him once again, not as spectators, but as companions on a musical journey. And so, in the quiet space beneath the iroko tree, Kuti learned that true talent lies not in seeking recognition, but in using one's gifts to spread happiness and bring people together. The echoes of his flute carried far beyond the village, weaving stories of humility, gratitude, and the timeless beauty of shared moments. As Kuti embraced his newfound humility and shared his music selflessly with the villagers, a sense of harmony returned back to the village. People gathered around him not just for his music, but for the warmth of community it fostered. One evening, as Kuti played beneath the starlit sky, a stranger approached the village. She was a traveler from a distant land, her eyes filled with curiosity and longing. Hearing Kuti's enchanting melodies, she made her way to the gathering and listened in awe. Impressed by Kuti's talent and touched by the unity of the villagers, the traveler revealed herself to be a renowned musician and offered Kuti an opportunity to journey with her and learn from other masters of music. At first, Kuti hesitated, torn between his love for the village and his desire to explore new horizons. The storyteller, who had been quietly observing, stepped forward once again. "Sometimes the greatest lessons are learned beyond familiar paths," he said, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. Encouraged by the storyteller's words and the support of the village, Kuti embarked on a musical adventure that would not only enrich his skills, but also deepen his understanding of the world and the true power of music in connecting souls across borders. Kuti's journey with the renowned musician was filled with wonders he had never imagined. They traveled through bustling cities and serene countryside, meeting musicians from diverse cultures and learning new techniques and melodies. Kuti's flute playing evolved, blending the traditional tunes of his village with the rhythms and harmonies of distant lands. One day, while performing in a grand concert hall, Kuti noticed a familiar face in the audience. A young girl with eyes that sparkled with recognition. After the concert, she approached Kuti with a shy smile and said, "You're Kuti from the village, aren't you? I heard your music there once." Surprised and delighted, Kuti nodded, "Yes, I am Kuti. What's your name?" The girl introduced herself as Ola, explaining that she had traveled to the city to pursue her dream of becoming a dancer. She had stumbled upon the concert by chance and was mesmerized by Kuti's performance. As they talked, Ola shared her passion for dance, describing how she incorporated traditional village dances into her choreography. Intrigued, Kuti invited Ola to collaborate with him, combining his melodies with her dance movements. Their collaboration was a sensation, blending music and dance in a way that enchanted audiences and celebrated the beauty of cultural diversity. Kuti realized that his journey was not just about mastering new skills, but also about forging meaningful connections with others through shared passions. However, just as Kuti's success reached new heights, a shadow from his past emerged. One evening, after a performance, Kuti received a message delivered by a messenger from his village. The message carried grave news. The ancient Iroko tree at the heart of the open space where Kuti had discovered his flute was in danger. Heartbroken and filled with a sense of responsibility, Kuti knew he had to return to his village and protect the tree that had gifted him not just a flute, but also valuable lessons about humility and sharing. With a heavy heart, he bid farewell to Ola and the bustling city, carrying with him memories of his musical journey and the bonds he had formed. Upon his return to the village, Kuti found the once vibrant open space withering, the Iroko tree's leaves dropping and its trunk showing signs of decay. The villagers gathered around, their faces reflecting concern and sorrow. Determined to save the tree, Kuti sought the wisdom of the elders and the storyteller who guided him before. Together, they discovered that the tree's ailment was not natural, but caused by a dark magic that fed on envy and greed. Shocked by this revelation, Kuti realized that his own journey from pride to humility mirrored the struggle of the Iroko tree. He had to confront the darker aspects of his own nature and harness the true power of his music to counter the dark magic that threatened the village. As Kuti played his flute with renewed purpose and purity of heart, the melodies resonated not just in the ears of the villagers, but also in the very essence of the Iroko tree. Slowly, the tree began to regain its strength, its branches stretching towards the sky once more, vibrant and alive. Just when it seemed that peace and harmony had returned to the village, a final twist unfolded. The storyteller, who had guided Kuti through his journey, revealed a secret of his own. He was a guardian spirit entrusted with preserving the wisdom and harmony of the village. With a knowing smile, the storyteller nodded at Kuti. Your journey was not just about music, but about discovering the interconnectedness of all things. The music of the soul that binds us to nature, to each other, and to the timeless rhythms of life. Kuti, now humbled and wiser, took on the role of sharing his experiences and the lessons he had learned with the younger generation. Together with Ola, who had followed him back to the village, inspired by his dedication, they created a cultural center where music, dance, storytelling, and the wisdom of the elders flourished, ensuring that the village remained a beacon of harmony and unity for generations to come. And so, in the tapestry of life, woven with melodies and movements, Kuti's journey came to full circle, teaching not only the value of humility and sharing, but also the transformative power of music, love, and the timeless wisdom that connects us all.